Hello, welcome to Poetry Changes Lives. Poetry, history, thought for the day, all in one book, day after day. It appears day after day. I sit here and read a poem and a thought for the day and a little bit of information. And you know, it does me a lot of good. I really enjoy doing it, and I hope that you try reading a poem every day because it puts your mind at ease, I think, and is a really good way of sort of resetting your mental, emotional compass. Let me demonstrate on this day in 1783. That's the year the American War of Independence ended, of course. The writer Washington Irving was born, and he was named after America's greatest statesman then and now, George Washington. Washington Irving grew up in Manhattan. He's best known for his stories of American folklore such as Rip Van Winkle and The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. They're pretty good stories, you know. I've read them and they're quite entertaining. They tell a tale right. I recommend them if you've nothing better to do. Well, Irving is held to be the very first American man of letters. By that I mean the first person to earn a living through his own writing in the United States. And he's a very fine role model, I think. He performed diplomatic roles as well in Europe, some of which gave him material for his stories. And though he never married, he was generally recognized as a very charming and witty guest, much in demand and very popular with the ladies. Washington Irving wrote poetry, and I'm going to read one of his. I think it sort of, the character of the man comes through it, a sort of light-hearted but meaningful and quite delightful poem about a delightful person. And it shows really that he was an okay sort of chap. Here it is. It's called A Certain Young Lady. There's a certain young lady who's just in her heyday, and full of all mischief, I ween. So teasing, so pleasing, capricious, delicious, and you know very well whom I mean. With a stately step, such as you'd expect in a duchess, and a brow might distinguish a queen, with a mighty proud air that says, touch me who dare, and you know very well whom I mean. Heaven help the adorer who happens to bore her, the lover who wakens her spleen, but too blessed for a sinner is he who shall win her, and you know very well whom I mean. I think that's delightful. Washington Irving's one of those people I very much wish I could have met. I think he would have been great company, and his writing shows the sort of man. Poetry often does that. It tells us a lot about the writer as well as the subject matter. Today I will try to learn from the example of others and recognize how they managed to achieve serenity. I hope I succeed. Thank you for listening today and have a good day.